A woman doesn't fall in love with you when she's with you. She falls in love with you when she's alone thinking about you. If you can get her thinking about you when you're not around, you can make her fall in love with you.
But what about people who say she's either attracted to you or she's not? I mean, you can't make someone be attracted to you.
She was interested, and she probably still is a little interested, but she's waiting for the guy that she was interested to show up, not the guy that, killed the mystery, killed the tension, killed it all.
The confession puke guy.
Confession puke. Did you ever watch a cat play with a piece of string? The string is dangling around, and that cat will look at it and it'll chase it. And you can just keep dangling it and you can have that cat chasing it forever. But the minute you drop that piece of string on the ground, the cat looks at it for a second, gets bored and walks away. Well, women are the same exact way. No woman wants a sure thing. You have to be the dancing string.
So what about the guys who maybe they already blew it? I mean, if they sent that desperate text, is it over for them?
No. I had a client, John, made every mistake in the book. She friend zoned him. This is a tough situation. And then I followed up with him and I'm like, how's it going? She invited me over for Thanksgiving. We're dating now.
Wow. But what if you're just not her type? I mean, what if you're a 50-year-old man and she's a 25-year-old girl?
When she finds herself falling for a guy, maybe he's older than her, maybe he's just not the typical guy she goes for. When she's thinking about him, she chalks it up to chemistry. On one text, 9 simple words that can send it, and it gets her reaching out, and it makes it feel like her idea. And it will get her to meet up with you.
Hey there, my name is Lexi, and my guest today is an expert in female psychology and created a system designed to have a woman chasing you instead of the other way around. He's promised to share exactly how it works with us today and show us how you can turn even the coldest girl into your loving, loyal girlfriend following just a few steps. In fact, his specialty is getting nice guys out of the friend zone and transforming them into the guy women chase for a relationship. And if you've had a woman pull away when she seemed to like you, he's going to explain the real reason it happens and how you can turn it around and have her think it was her idea to pursue you again. I've got to know, what is the confession puke?
Every guy watching this probably knows what it is. He may not refer to it that, but I can almost guarantee he's done it. As a guy, when you develop feelings for a woman, whether she's a female friend or a woman you dated and it's been, a month of dating her, everything is going good, and then she starts losing interest and you start panicking. We've all been in this situation. The first thing that goes through the average guy's mind, and it went through my mind many times over the years, is I have to let her know how I feel. So the woman is backing off. She's, maybe not sure how she feels about him. And he thinks the answer is to puke his feelings about her on her lap, whether it's a text they send. Some guys have sent me included, a long mushy email, and it never works. And as much times as I tell them it doesn't work, chances are somebody out there is going to make it again and think it's going to work this time.
So you just referenced your own mushy email that you sent. Tell me the story. Do you have a confession story?
Yeah, a lot of this all started with probably one of the worst cases. I call it emotional quicksand. It's when you're in that state of just thinking about her, obsessing about her. You're analyzing her messages. You're reviewing like everything that happened with your friends, like it's the playbook of a football game and every move she made. And I was in that situation. I had a female friend, Robin, and we wound up kissing one night. To me, it was like stars aligned, the heaven. And I just thought, I won the game, right? I just assumed, okay, like now she's going to be my girlfriend. And the first few days, we were texting and everything's good. And then all of a sudden, a Friday comes and I text her, can't wait to see you. No response. And then Saturday comes and I'm looking at my phone. No, I'm like, is my phone broken? What's going on? I have my friends, can you just call me to make sure that I'm getting texts? And Sunday comes, still nothing. And I'm panicking, at this point I'm just like, cause I was already picturing what our kids were going to look like. I had the whole relationship mapped out in my head. And somewhere between Sunday and Tuesday morning, I decide that she doesn't know how much I like her. Maybe she thinks that I still see her as a friend and she's nervous. So I go to the florist and I buy literally the most expensive bouquet of flowers that you can imagine. And then I have the brilliant idea of sending them to her work with a card that I cringe thinking about what I wrote in that card. And then, I waited around all day. I knew they were going to be delivered about 5 o'clock. So I'm at home and I'm just pacing around, just waiting for her to call and go, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I think about 6 p.m. I get a text. That was sweet, thanks. And then I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So then I go, well, hey, no problem. You want to hang out tonight? I'm kind of tired. And that was the start of a 2 month spiral that ended with me getting the crap kicked out of me in the parking lot of her Christmas work party, which I had shown up uninvited. Like
Oh.
it was a brutal 2 months, but it taught me so much. And it was sort of a wake up call that like, I don't know what I'm doing here and I got to figure this out. Spent the next year after that figuring a lot of it out and still making mistakes, but learning, adjusting, and really understanding. And I was doing it at the time for myself. I just wanted to know, why did I get like, how did I turn from being this, pretty put together guy into an emotional mess, just chasing after, and I was getting crumbs and I was like treating those crumbs she was giving me like it was a full course meal, just like, oh, I got a reply tonight, like actually happy that she even gave me an LOL reply. And
Right.
it was just not the ideal situation, but
So now you teach guys things that they can do to where they don't do the confession puke, they don't do the spiral. But what about people who say she's either attracted to you or she's not? I mean, you can't make someone be attracted to you.
I think a lot of people don't really understand how a woman actually falls in love. What I always tell guys is a woman doesn't fall in love with you when she's with you. She falls in love with you when she's alone thinking about you. So if you can get her thinking about you when you're not around, you can make her fall in love with you. She makes herself fall in love with you. It's not you making her. It's like she's at home. She finds herself thinking about you. She starts looking at you differently. She starts wondering, well, what would it be like to kiss him? That's when she's falling in love. When she starts analyzing your behavior with her friends, when she starts Googling, what did it mean when he did this? That's the whole process she's going through. And I think one of the reasons a lot of guys lose a woman is because they never give her things to think about. They never let her get to that place where she's in her head wondering about them. They're very predictable, and very soon they lose that mystery. And that's why she winds up pulling away or gives them the friend zone speech or tells them they don't feel the spark, because that spark is that process she goes through when she's away from you. So if you can make her think about you when you're not around, you can make her fall in love with you.
But what if you're just not her type? I mean, what if you're a 50-year-old man and she's a 25-year-old girl? I mean, is there a limit to what techniques can do?
That's the great thing about this technique especially, is that, remember what we just said, if you can get her thinking about you when you're not around, you can make her fall in love with you. And for a woman, when she finds herself falling for a guy, maybe he's older than her, maybe he's just not the typical guy she goes for, when she's thinking about him, women, we all do this, we backward rationalize, right? And we try to look for the reason. And when she goes, oh, he's older than I usually go for, or he's different, this must be some mysterious chemistry that I'm feeling. She chalks it up to chemistry, right? Because that's what chemistry is. And there's something actually almost more alluring about that. And I think for a woman, when she finds that, it's like, we have some kind of connection. There's something about him. When she's saying, I don't know what it is about him, that's the state she's in.
So you say you can't be the nice guy. Does that mean you have to be a jerk to get women attracted to you?
Absolutely not. A lot of guys think it's like being nice is why girls don't like nice guys. But girls, of course they like nice. Everybody likes being around somebody who's nice. It's not the niceness that ruins a woman's attraction. It's the predictableness. It's that your nice behavior comes across as very similar to every other guy's behavior, and it becomes very predictable. And if you look back at the story I was saying with Robin, what had happened was I was this interesting guy that she kissed, and the tension was there, that what's going to happen. And that's sort of what is intriguing to a woman, right? It's that, will it happen? Won't it happen? What's going on? And the way I describe it to guys is if you ever watch a cat play with a piece of string, and the string is dangling around, and that cat will look at it and it'll chase it, and you can just keep dangling it, and you can have that cat chasing it forever. But the minute you drop that piece of string on the ground, the cat looks at it for a second, gets bored, and walks away. Well, women are the same exact way. And too many guys, it's not the niceness, it's the being too easy to catch, being a sure thing. Like, no woman wants a sure thing, right? There's no fun in that. There's no buildup. There's no anticipation when immediately you give your hand away and it's like, oh, I've got this guy. So when guys go, I don't want to have to be a jerk, I say, you don't have to be a jerk. You have to be the dancing string. You have to be the guy that she can't quite predict, so she's always leaning in. She's always wanting to know more. She's always chasing. Very often as guys, especially if we haven't learned this, we deprive her of that. We deprive her of that working to win you over, of the anticipation of getting you. And I think that's probably the biggest mistake most guys make, is they're afraid to make her put in effort. They're afraid to put doubt in her mind. Like, they don't want her to have doubt. They want to, but certainty kills tension. And if there's no tension, she eventually loses attraction. And she might not know why. She's not going to say to you, and this is why it's so confusing, is she's not going to go, well, I would have liked you more if you were a little bit harder to figure out. She's just going to give you some vague response, like, I just didn't feel it, or there was no butterflies or no spark. But really, there was no butterflies because there was no tension, because you were a sure thing. And once you become a sure thing, the uncertainty dies, the mystery dies. You know, another way I explain it to guys is, imagine you're watching a movie and 3 minutes into the movie, you know the ending. How much desire do you have to keep watching the movie?
Right.
Well, that's how the average nice guy, that's what he is to the woman. One date in, she already knows the ending of the movie.
All right, so what about the guys who maybe they already blew it? I mean, if they sent that desperate text, I mean, is it over for them?
No. You ever see those elliptical illusions where it's like either a rabbit or a duck, or sometimes you see the old lady or the young lady, and it's like one way you look at it, it's the old lady, and what I always tell guys is you kind of have to think of it like that. Right now, she's seeing the duck, right? She's seeing that duck. Your first step in what I teach, right? Because it's a series of steps, but the first step is you've got to at least have her confused. Am I seeing the rabbit or the duck, right? And that's the first step of it. It's hard for a lot of guys to understand this because they're not as in tune to social dynamics as women are. And when you realize how women think, you realize that women pay very, very close attention to like the subtleties of social dynamics, right? They understand the power dynamic, right? Whether it's politically correct to say that or not, but every relationship, there is a power dynamic. One person kind of has the upper hand. And when a woman, you've made mistakes, and going back to me and my situation with Robin, like, it was very obvious she had the upper hand. But an interesting thing happens is that when the power dynamic starts to change and she's sensing it change, it gets her attention. It doesn't make her go, oh, I want this guy right now, but it gets her thinking to herself, what's going on here? And that's the confusion. That opens up the window for you now to make the shift from rabbit to the duck in a metaphorical way. So yeah, you can change, and it happens so often. I can't tell you, when I go through the amount of guys, I mean, and you can make extremely big mistakes. I had a client that I was working with, John, and he had dated some woman, made every mistake in the book, and then she friend zoned him, and he was showing me his text that he sent her, and I was like, you know, as a coach, you want to be kind and you want to be constructive criticism,
but you're dying inside while you're reading these texts.
So I have a partner, Rob, that I work with, and I show him, and I'm like, how can we help this guy? And he goes, this is a tough situation, you know? And even I at the time was like, I was like, listen, man, we're gonna do our best here. You know, I didn't hear from him for a little bit. This was maybe in October, and then I followed up with him, and I'm like, how's it going? So she invited me over for Thanksgiving. We're dating now. And ever since that moment, because that was one of the ones where I was like, this is gonna be a tough one. Here's the thing I always tell guys too. It's like, you're gonna give it another shot. Like, meaning, if you have a woman you really like, you're not going to just not try something. So if you're going to try something that works. Try a system that actually works. Don't listen to your buddy who hasn't been in the dating scene. And, you know, even Rob, you've met my partner, Rob. His now wife, Adriana, had broken up with him, put him in the friend zone, was dating somebody else, as somebody actually a lot richer than him. And he got her back, and now they're married.
I like this idea that she was already attracted to you. There was already something there. These aren't just random women on the street. There was already something there that maybe was lost. So how do you get that back? I like that idea.
And she was interested, and she probably still is a little interested, but she's waiting for the guy that she was interested to show up, not the guy that, you know, killed the mystery, killed the tension, killed it all.
The confession puke guy.
The confession puke. And listen, I've been there, guys. I'm not making fun of you, but here's the thing you do want to understand. You can make the mistake once, and it's like, all right. But when you make it again, you got to learn from your mistakes, right? Like, do it once, all is forgiven. We've all been there. But if you keep making the same mistake and expecting a different result, then maybe it's time to go, maybe I don't get this as well as I thought I did.
Okay, so is this just about kind of playing hard to get, maybe acting like you're not interested?
No, I think that's a mistake. And it was a mistake I made like for years because I'm naturally introverted. So for me, when I heard like, oh, just act like you're not interested, girls like that.
You were like, that's easy.
Yeah, it was easy. I was going to stand in the corner at the party anyway. So this is exactly what. But the thing is like you can play all hard to get all you want. But it's sort of like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around, doesn't make a sound. Well, if you're playing hard to get and she's not paying attention to you, you're not doing anything, right? She's not even noticing. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about tapping into something that we call romantic tension. It's going back to the cat and the string metaphor. She wants the dancing string. It's about being the dancing string that gets her attention and then leads her into wanting more, giving her a little bit, but never the full amount that keeps her attention. Like I said, we teach this technique called the Scrambler, and we walk you through certain steps. It's all about the effort. The more effort she starts putting in, trying to figure you out, trying to get to know you, trying to go, maybe I misjudged this guy too quickly. So it's not about playing hard to get. It's about getting her slowly investing more and more into figuring you out, into being interested in you.
And that ties into what you said earlier about women fall in love when they're alone thinking about you. So the more she's questioning, what did that mean? That's giving her that time to really have you on her mind.
Exactly. I'll give you an example. Have you ever had maybe a coworker that every time they come into work, hey, Lexi, how you doing? Maybe a male coworker. And you kind of know this guy is like flirting a little bit. And then one day he comes in and he kind of doesn't say hi to you.
Yeah, kind of ignores you.
You're just like...
You're like, what happened?
You're like, what?
Did I
do something? Like, what? And you start thinking about him, right? It's just like... And that is like a trigger. It doesn't make you automatically like him, and that's not what we're saying. The Scrambler's up steps. But that guy at least has your attention again, right? Because you're thinking, what happened? What did I do? And now that begins the process of like moving him from the rabbit to the duck, right? And we'll go through the rest of the steps. But I think that the reason I'm concentrating on this one is because a lot of guys, they have a woman that they like and they want to turn things around. And when she sees you from a place of being the typical nice guy, you have to change that image so that this pattern, that this link she had in her mind to me as the friend, the nice guy, the safe guy, the unattractive guy, how can I break that link? And that's all what we walk through in step one of the program and the technique. And it works extremely fast. But the mistake a lot of guys make is they think, and I see this all the time because we have a community with guys who are going through and they get so excited because they're like, she's texting, she wants to hang. And I go, you have her attention. She's not, you're still in step one. You didn't win anything. The game's not over. She's actually feeling you out now. And the worst thing you can do at this point is go, hey,
jump back in. Yeah.
Lexi came over to my desk. This worked. Hey, Lexi, you want to go out to dinner tonight? No, that will ruin everything. That's why everything is a process. You got to go one step to the next until you've completed the whole cycle.
So the pattern interrupt is really about bringing that tension back.
The whole Scrambler itself, the whole technique we teach is turning romantic tension into love, turning it into a long-term relationship, attachment. But it all starts with this romantic tension.
Okay, give me a couple of examples of how you do that.
So we teach a lot of them in here, but I'll give you a couple that are very simple ones that are easy to explain. So let's go back to the guy at your work, and you kind of know this guy. We've maybe had a drink together. I wasn't that into him, but he's still coming around. He's still into me. And then all of a sudden you're talking to him one day and you do something, and he goes, Lexi, you're a great friend. And now you're like, friend? He just called me a friend. Like, what is that?
He
right?
friend-zoned me.
He friend-zoned me, right? It's like, wait, he thinks of us as friends? Like, again, I'm very cautious giving techniques out there like this because it all requires the whole thing, right?
The build up. You can't just throw these things out.
If you take one of these things and you're not doing all the other things that I'm going to talk about, and you're just like, well, I use the word friend, like you have to have actually done the stuff leading up to that, and you're going to have to do the stuff after that. There's other subtle things like even just something as simple as who's leaning in, right? So if I'm talking to a woman and I'm really into her and she's not that into me, or I'm trying harder, my whole body language, and you can watch it. Go out to a bar, go out anywhere, and you'll see one person is leaning in, right? And it's like the person leaning in is the one who's trying to impress, trying to gain approval, trying to win the other person over. So one of the things I always tell guys is like, start leaning back and getting her to have to lean in. It's very subconscious, but it's like one of those things that just the physical act of her finding herself leaning in, getting her to do you a favor, right? It's like one of those things. And this is also like, I think it's called the Ben Franklin effect, where Ben Franklin found that we like somebody more when we do them a favor because we backwards rationalize it.
Wow.
A lot of guys think I'm going to do her a favor and it's going to get her to like me. But it all comes down to this thing. It's called effort justification, right? When we're putting effort into something, we have to justify it in our mind. It's not like I'm in love with him because I did a favor. So it's not even just the favor and the effort justification. It's also just something she probably wasn't expecting, which again gets her attention.
So what about a man complimenting a woman? I mean, should he not?
There's a limit in the sense of like, yes, you need to compliment women, but you need to do it the right way. And most guys, I can guarantee, are not complimenting a woman in a way that creates any additional interest on her part, right? The average guy will compliment her looks. He'll compliment, oh, you're cool. I like hanging out with you. And sure, I mean, she's heard that from a million other guys. But what we teach in the program is something called the golden mirror. And what we tell them is that if you're going to compliment her, a surface level compliment actually, it's essentially flattery. And nobody really likes flattery because it's like you didn't earn it. Everything, again, it's about earning. You want her working for your approval. If you're telling her she has nice eyes, well, did she do anything for that? I mean, she was born with them. Getting validation from somebody that we don't respect that much doesn't really feel anything, right? So that's why part of it is withholding it a little bit, right? And when you do compliment her, you do it in this technique that we call the golden mirror. And I'll kind of go through it quickly. It's pretty in-depth, but the idea is that there's three different elements of a woman's personality. She has her ideal self, her sexual feminine self, and then her social self. And you want to attach those compliments to those aspects of her personality because it hits her on a much, much deeper level because you're no longer giving her a basic compliment. An example might be of her ideal self is, let's just say she's been studying to be a therapist maybe, and you're talking to her and you can tell she sees herself as somebody who's really in tune to human nature, and that's like her ideal vision of herself. So in those cases, as you're talking to her, you might go, I can see why you would make a good therapist. Like I find myself like wanting to tell you things I haven't told people before. I could totally see you're going to be good at this because now you're complimenting something that is meaningful to her. The problem most guys make is a woman gives them nothing. Like they reward bad behavior. They're on a date with her and she's like checking her phone and being boring and they're like, oh, you're so cool. And it doesn't mean anything.
She's not being cool.
She's not being cool, right? So again, so what we walk guys through is, like I said, there's three areas and there's different types of compliments for each area. And when you start giving a woman these type of compliments slowly, if you dump them all on her, they lose effect because you always want to, it's almost like a breadcrumb. Right? You always want her chasing the next compliment, the next thing, because there's something really alluring when we start to realize, like, because we all have this, we all want to believe we're special and we all want to believe like there's something unique about us. And when somebody is actually recognizing it, what you truly identify yourself with, and you get a taste of it, you want more. Now that she's got a taste of these compliments and he sees me this way, it becomes addicting to be around you. And the guy has to refrain from constantly doing it because then it loses its value. But when you use it to, again, you're dangling the string. And again, it might not even be on a conscious level, but she senses like something's different. And it's power, right? And everybody has these areas of their life. And I only went through the ideal self. The social self is how you want to be seen socially, how you want to interact socially. So there's all these different areas. And that's one of the things that we walk you through. It's a big section of the training is just showing how to dish out. And guys love this section because we want to do nice things. Like I think there's this thing when I explain this and I say you gotta dangle the string and you gotta hold back. There's some guys that go, that's mean, or why do I have to, like, I don't want to treat women that way. But really what you're doing is you're setting the stage to give her a compliment that then means 100 times more.
Well, and especially because I hope most of the guys who come to you are nice guys and they actually really do like this person or this woman. And
I will say this, they do. And if you're watching this, especially what I just went over with the golden mirror. If you're watching this and you don't actually like the woman, do not use this on her because she will get attached. It will not be good. And I do not want guys thinking that this is a pickup artist thing to go out and use on women. when you do this, she will get attached to you. This isn't something to like play around with and be like, hey, I worked with this girl. Let me see if this works.
Yeah.
You will mess with her head. You don't want to use this on a woman unless you're pretty sure you at least want to give it a serious shot.
Yeah. Maybe you're not going to get married necessarily, but you at least want to date this person.
Yeah, everything I'm talking about, everything we teach, it's very powerful and it works very, very quickly. I find that most guys want to have a girlfriend. But to your point, these are nice guys and they're making mistakes. And if you're going to do it and you have good intentions, like, why not do what works?
Yeah, if you're going to make this effort anyways, do something that's proven. So what if some situations are just a little bit different? What if she has like some baggage from her last relationship? She doesn't want to mess up the friendship.
I've found that's all excuses for her not feeling it. I think a lot of guys will say she's different. Every guy thinks she's different. I can't tell you how many times I heard she's different. And I've been 2006 now, so I'm just under 20 years of doing this. And I can tell you that there are very few situations where she's different. Listen, I've been there where I've gotten I'm just not ready for anything serious right now. And then I've watched her 3 weeks later dating a new guy that she winds up marrying, right? It was like, no, she wasn't ready for anything serious with me. Like that was her rationalization because she wasn't feeling it. When you're feeling it, all of those objections just evaporate. Right?
Those are the excuses you give to try to be nice because you don't want to just say to someone's face, I don't feel it.
Yeah. Another mistake I think guys make, so many guys will go, Bobby, she chased her last boyfriend was like always hanging out with his friends and she just was with him for 5 years and she obsessed with them and like she just like complained how he never gave her attention. So I'm texting her every day because I don't want to be like him. I'm like, he just told me she was obsessed with him for 5 years.
Right.
I'm like, you're doing the opposite of what works.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's so funny.
She gave you the blueprint for what works. And you go, I'm going to do the opposite because I don't want to be like that. I think that's a mistake guys make is that they go, a woman complains about the guy she was like in love with and chasing and he goes, well, I'm not going to do that. I mean, another one, I'm in the friend zone. I think being in the friend zone is literally the easiest situation. Like, there's a lot of guys that come to me and certain there's a level of difficulty in turning it around, right? You went on one date with her a year ago and she lives in Kentucky and you live in New York. It's really tough to turn that around.
Yeah.
You're friends with her and you talk to her on a regular basis. That's not hard because you have, she's already comfortable. You know she likes you as a person. The only thing that's missing is that tension, that attraction. It's a lot easier to turn that situation around than some long distance, relationship. So I think a lot of guys go, "Oh, friends." No, being friends is like you're ahead of the game because you have access to her. She's gonna notice the changes a lot faster. When you start acting differently, she's gonna pick up on it fast. So yeah, being friends is definitely not an excuse to not try this.
So you mentioned a little bit before that there is a certain amount of work to this.
Yeah.
How much work are we talking?
So what we teach, it's a technique called the Scrambler, and it's way more about subtraction than it is about addition. Meaning you're doing a lot of things that are hurting your chances with a woman that you don't even realize. The average guy, I'm not, the average guy, and I was that guy for a long time, and I'm not criticizing the average guy, but the average guy is doing things that he does not realize is taking a woman who probably would have experienced attraction and he's cutting his own legs off. A guy in my community this morning got a date with a girl and he asked in our community, should I bring her flowers on the first date? Right there, he would have made a mistake. Most women are going to be like, that's a little weird. This guy's taking it a little bit seriously. So just not bringing the flowers already gets him a little bit better than he would have been. A lot of it is just pointing out, all right, these are all the things that you just shouldn't do. And then it's just noticing the dynamics, noticing what I call the invisible game that most guys don't notice, right? The subtle things, the subtle power dynamics that are going on. And all these ways you're giving away your power as a man and not realizing it. A lot of it is just not doing that. And then her picking up on it, it's human nature, right? Like, one of those things is like, we don't mind giving something away, but we hate losing it. When you're going to lose something, it's like there becomes an instinct to keep it, right? So part of it is like recognizing, okay, she's losing this power, this control that she had over you. She's going to want to get that back. But that doesn't mean she's attracted. She's just trying to get that back. You're now going to use that as the window to now attract her. What we show you is, all right, this is how most guys respond to the situation. This is how she's probably expecting you to respond. But when you respond like this, you draw her in a little bit more.
Catches her off guard.
Catches her a little bit more. You got to lead her back into attraction, right? I use the term lead. It's like you're not playing games, you're leading. She doesn't know what she wants. You're leading her into that feeling again. The hardest part is it's counterintuitive, okay? And you have to wrap your mind around what I think should work is not necessarily what works. And what my gut is telling me I should do, my gut's been wrong a lot, right? So like, you should at least be like, listen, my gut has not made the best decisions for me. Attraction itself is counterintuitive. It's also not a choice. One of the things I tell guys is attraction is not a choice. You don't choose to feel attraction to somebody. It just happens, right?
Okay, so how does a guy avoid looking desperate?
Yeah, so it all ties back because it is a fear. You went out on a few dates with her, you felt it, she ended it, but you don't have a way to reach out to her.
Yeah.
So what we found one text. It's nine simple words that when you send her, you can send it and it gets her pursuing you, but it gets her reaching out and it makes it feel like her idea. Now, a lot of guys will say, Bobby, well, what's the text? Here's why I'm not going to tell you the text. Because if you don't know the entire thing, you do not want to waste this text without because she will respond. You will get your chance. But if you don't know what to do afterwards, you are going to blow it. I used to give it to guys and then they would immediately run. And now even in the program, I have a big warning thing when guys go through the program. This is when you understand this text is designed to get her reaching out to you and it will get her to meet up with you. But if you show up as the same nice guy that she wasn't attracted to, this text will not do anything.
Yeah.
This text is your way back in.
It's
right?
your one chance. Don't waste it.
Yeah, it's the way you get back in. And not only does it get you back in, it gets it back in a way where it's like her pursuing it, right? And I know I'm being mysterious, but if you have a chance, if there's a woman you really like, you want to give it the absolute best shot, right?
Yeah.
And I know this from experience of coaching guys. And I know it from myself. You're always going to want closure on it. You're always going to want to know, like, could I have done it differently? We all have the one who got away. And if you're going to give it a shot, you want to do it right. Sometimes a woman is worth fighting for. You know, Rob, my partner I mentioned earlier, his now wife had slipped away and this is where the text came from. He used it and then he started showing clients and they started using it and he's now married to Adriana. She was worth fighting for. And a lot of women are worth fighting for. They're worth putting in the effort. And if you're going to put the effort in, do it right. One guy, Brad, I'll give him credit. He's a little younger than me, but relatively my age. And he's like my high school crush. She got divorced and he's like, oh, I always want it. He goes, I want it. And honest to God, he started dating her. He got her using
and how does a guy know if he's doing the program, if he's working on stuff, how does he know if it's working? So
one of the things we're very clear on when we go through the program is we almost give you a checklist of each step. When you notice her attention is going to be a step. Then there is paying attention to testing. I mentioned testing briefly, but the funny thing is when it starts working, she starts testing you more.
Yeah.
Because she wants to know, is this real? Is this guy really changed? But you're ready for them, right? Now that you know it exists, now that we show you how to handle them, you're ready for them. We almost have a checklist of different steps. And I'll give you one that a lot of guys, because you get to a point where you have to make the move, right? It's like, okay, I've been doing this, but now a kiss or some kind of physical contact solidifies it. Because the truth is you can have a great conversation, you can have a great night, but if nothing physical happened between you, it didn't solidify anything. So I'll give the guys one of my favorite ones. And this is a thing where you're talking to a woman and maybe she says, it could be anything, right? Like, oh, you're a Yankee fan? I love the Yankees. And you give her like a little high five. Okay. And you leave your hand there for a second. You let your hand linger. Okay. And if she's feeling it, it's like clockwork. She'll let her hand linger. Yeah. If she wants to send you the message that she's not into you, she'll quickly pull that away. Now, it's a very innocent thing. She has no clue what you just did. Like, you're not like grabbing her, you're not pulling her. I call it the kiss test. You just literally let your hand linger and see what she does. And guys write in all the time. It works. It's pretty accurate. So that's one of them. We give a bunch of different ones throughout the different phases.
That's a really, what a great test.
The other thing is disarming. When a woman's rejected you or when she's friend zoned you, she's kind of got her guard up. So you need to do things that are under the radar. I mean, you're not going, hey, this is the new me. Do you like the new me? Right. No, you're letting her go, oh, something's different. Wait, that changed. And it's all on a gut level, right? You get this gut feeling something changed, something's different. And really that's the first thing. You need to give that under the radar, gut level, something's a little different here. What's different? And now you've got her paying attention.
And you talked about that this is a training. There's several steps involved. Why can a man not just do those by himself?
If you take what I said right here, right? You go, okay, Bobby said I have to change. You could do it by yourself, right? I mean, technically, yeah. But why would you? If you're going after the woman that like you see her as like wife potential, why would you wing it when you have something that like works?
Yeah.
Why would you wing it when you can not only have access to the steps that to know when it's working, to what to do, but also to a community of guys that before you do something, you can go, hey guys, I'm just checking in. Sure, you can try, but if you're really serious about a woman, as serious as you're saying you are, then why not do it right? Why not follow it? Why not have accountability? Why not have a camaraderie of guys who have been in your shoes, who have made it work? Because that's the other thing. A lot of guys don't understand what phase they're in. Step one is this pattern interrupt. And I'll give you an example. One of the things that you might have to do is a blackout. This is where you just cut contact. Some guys just naturally, I'll just do no contact. But there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do it, right? If you just go not answer any of her texts and you just stop, she's not going to go, something's different here. She's instead going to go, oh, he's butthurt. He feels rejected. He's embarrassed. And that's not actually the perception
that
you want her to have, right? That's the difference, right? There's subtle elements. And again, I've been coaching for 20 years and I've seen all the patterns. It's these subtle elements. That's where the game is won or lost, right? It's not the big moves. It's the subtlety to the moves. Because the fact is, there was a dynamic that existed, most likely, if she's not attracted to you, if she's turned you down, put you in the friend zone, where she's here and you're here. Whether she's thinking it or not, she's kind of looking down on you a little bit, right? Let's just be honest. Like not in a derogatory, you're not on her level, right?
Yeah.
You need to at least get back here because that attraction can happen when you're on the same level. If a woman's looking down on you, she's no matter what you do, it's not going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So we walk you through phase 2, which is getting you back on that level. Then we introduce golden mirror. This is the compliments we talked about. Now, a lot of guys love that. I love it. It's great giving somebody these compliments, and a lot of guys can't wait to get to that. But if you just skipped phase 1 and phase 2 and you just started doing these compliments, they're not going to work nearly as well as if you've done the work in phase 1 and phase 2. So then we move into phase 4. Now you've given her the compliments. Now she's on the hook, right? She's kind of like, all right, like I'm waking up a little bit. I'm feeling it. This is very often where guys blow it because they go, I got it. I got her, right? But what happens? You just drop the string right in her lap. So phase 4 is all about extending it, like making it better, building the anticipation, doing these things where it's like, okay, I've got her, but to make her really fall for me, I've got to continue this. I got to keep the string just out of reach. I got to get her investing more. That's what we walk you through. And there's 12 techniques that we talk about in that section. And then the final thing that we walk guys through is the intimacy part, right? Because if you've been not in that stage with a woman, female friend, even an ex, a lot of guys use this on their ex, and it's like, you've got to know how to do that in a way that almost feels like her idea. If he's just creating the tension, leaning in, and it feels like her going, I really want to kiss him right now, it's way different, right? So that's what the 5th stage is all about. So that's what they learn in this. And guys always say, well, how long does it take to go through these? And it depends. It's like some guys can get, I had a guy who went through the Scrambler, and it was like a Tuesday, and by like Friday, he's like, she just told me she wants to be his girlfriend. I'm not saying I am not saying that is a standard. It depends on the situation.
The situation. Yep.
Totally. Yep. It depends on the situation. If it's a woman that you're dating who's like kind of pulling back, she's not sure, that situation pretty quickly, right? If it's a female friend, could take a little longer.
All right, so you've talked a lot about the program, but tell me, what exactly is it? Like, what does it contain?
So we have, as I mentioned several times, we have a community, and within the community, it's a course. And they initially get 6, I call them reset videos. These are things designed to get them very quick wins. So they go through it, they come in, and it's like boom, boom, boom. These are like immediate things they can put into action. And so they go through that, and that just gets them the quick wins. And then we go through a series of modules. We talked about steps, videos. At the end of each lesson, there's a review so you know where you stand. We even give them a quiz just to be like, if you don't pass this quiz, you can't go to the next one because we need to make sure that you're ready for it, right? And like I said, the really powerful part of it is just access to coaches inside the community who are there to help you out, to help you implement it. And one of the things that starts happening is you start looking back on some of your and you go, I could have done this. Yeah, you're like, oh my God, I wish I knew this. And you now have this blueprint of like, okay, I know my next move now. I don't have to worry about it.
So it's video modules, it's a community, there's a 5-step process. This is all great, really breaks it down. What if it doesn't work? I mean, we talked earlier a little bit about that there are exceptions.
So there's two things. One is we give a 100%, no questions asked, money back guarantee, which means if you don't like it, even if you go, oh, this guy Bobby's annoying, I don't like, he's got a Jersey accent is annoying, I can't listen to him, shoot an email. We don't even ask you why. We go, refund you. So from that perspective, you have nothing to lose. In fact, I have way more to lose than you do because I'm taking the risk there. But to the other extent, the other question is maybe not just what do I have to lose financially. Some guys go, well, if this doesn't work, or and it's like, well, we're not telling you to write her a poem and deliver it. Everything you're doing is under the radar. So there's no risk of embarrassment. There's no like, oh my God, I'm going to look so dumb doing this. Everything you're doing is so subtle that anybody watching would not know you were doing something. So from that perspective, a guy has absolutely nothing to lose. Now, what I found is that so many guys, but when they start going through this and they realize like, oh, wait a minute, I haven't had bad luck with women because I'm fundamentally bad. I was just doing the wrong thing. So a lot of guys go through it and they go, whoa, like I have so much more confidence in the dating scene right now because I know what creates attraction. I know how to do this now. Again, you have nothing to worry about. If you don't like it, you can refund it, but I don't think you will. I think they're going to like it.
Yeah,
I've been doing
your
this.
Track record proves.
I wouldn't be doing this as long as I've been doing it and as successful as I have been at doing it. If I didn't have guys, getting results, I would have been out of business in 2009.
Right. Okay, so we talked about what it is, why guys should give it a try, and so tell me the brass tacks. I mean, what does this cost?
So, to give you some context, Rob's my partner, he's the co-creator. We held a seminar where we taught it for the first time, and we charged $1,500 a guy to come to the seminar. We recorded the seminar, and at first we were only going to make it available. These were private clients that had come. They were guys that we wanted to teach this entire thing, and we weren't going to release it because we didn't feel it was fair because these guys paid a lot of money. So we asked them, we go, guys, like, do you mind if we release this, right? You guys paid it for a private thing. And they were, every single one of them, to their credit, they're like, guys need to learn this. They're like, go for it. So we were initially going to sell it for $500. We thought that was fair, but they talked us into lowering it even lower. So we charged $79, which is, I think, like I said, it's like, to me, for everything they get and for the chance to turn everything around with a woman, it's literally the less than the cost of dinner for two. It's like,
if you have 4 20s.
So $79 is not a lot of money. And I don't think that's what stops guys. I think what stops guys is they just feel like, I don't want to be scammed. Am I falling for something? And I'll tell you this, right? And I'm here with Lexi here. You can go online. You can see how long I've been around. I'm not going anywhere. This isn't a scam. I have books. I have YouTube channels with 400 and 500,000 subscribers. I'm not going anywhere. This is not a scam. You don't have to worry about that. And once you're inside the community itself, you will see the guys who've already had success with it. So there really is no risk to this. And not only that, we've also included some bonuses for guys who get in because we just wanted to give everything that they're going to need. So one of the bonuses is one of our coaches, Chris. We've mentioned sexual tension and this idea of tension, but he teaches something called invisible escalation. And this is what I mentioned, where when you go to meet up and her guard might be up, ex-girlfriend, a female friend, this is about creating that sexual tension with her without having to compliment her, without having to lunge in awkwardly for a kiss, right? He walks you through the seductive moves that begin to create this. We have another one is all about trigger words, right? These are just fun words that create sort of a sexualized element to a conversation.
Okay.
Again, it's things that if you use them on their own, but when you use them in context, it just creates a little bit of a playfulness to a conversation that signals there's something flirty going on. We have an entire re-engagement text. I mentioned the 9-word text. We don't just give you the text because, as I mentioned, it's a sequence. You send the text, what she writes back, you're going to do a certain thing that's going to draw her in. Then you're going to wait and you're going to do something else. And we map out that entire sequence in one of the bonuses. So I just encourage guys, if you've got a woman that you've got your eye on and you don't want to think back in a few years, like, what if I had just given it a shot? Like, just give it a shot. Like, you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah. $79, and you can always even get that money back if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, you really have nothing to lose.
All right, Bobby. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with us. All right, guys. Well, I hope you learned something too, and I hope you go check out Bobby Rio. Follow him on YouTube. Find the Scrambler online, and why not give it a chance? You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Lexi. This has been fun, guys. And reach out if you have any questions.